If you have ever felt ashamed, embarrassed about the fact that you have moved from one house to another, from one city to another, if you have moved from many places in, I don't know, in kind of like a short period of time, if that idea makes you a little nervous or uncomfortable with people, if you feel a little shame around it, I am very happy that this video found you, or that you found this video, because I am the queen of moving around. And I am super happy and proud to be at a place in my life where I can talk from my heart about this feeling, about this way of living life, and all the layers that are in that process of finding home, finding the home within us. Because at the end, that's what we, our souls, our hearts are searching when we are moving from one place to another. What is that place that feels right for me? So welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen me before, if this is the first time that you see me, my name is Melisa, and I've been sharing in my channel everything that I've been learning in my journey of starting a business guided by my intuition. And as you can imagine, when we follow our intuition, a lot of fun stuff comes up, and a lot of unpredictable things start showing up in our lives, and we end up dancing with life, with everything that presents. And moving around continues being that one thing that I've been dancing with life with. I've been dancing with life. I am kind of getting sick. I'm kind of getting a little cold, so my brain might be a little slower, so forgive me. But yeah, I recently moved to San Francisco. It is my first week. Exactly today is the first week in my new place. So I've been reflecting a lot about it, and I'm at a place in my life where I'm aware that there are a lot of people out there that might be going to the same thing, might be going through a similar process. Especially, I want to give a little context. I am not from United States. I am in United States, but I grew up in Colombia. I moved to United States when I was 22, and since that moment, I think I was searching for home. I was searching for that place that would feel like home. And it's been over 10 years. It's been a wonderful journey, and here is what I have learned, how I have done it, and how I am in a place where I can truly say that I found home. I have to say, even like now that I have that feeling, that sense of belonging, that sense of feeling safe at home. For example, I am getting a cold. My nervous system still gets a little response. We will get into all these details. Especially, I want to say, if you have been following my channel, you've been watching my videos, I want to say that you identify yourself as a very sensitive person. So I am one of those, and I have collected many tools through my life to be able to navigate life, being a sensitive human, honoring this nature. So it is possible. It is possible. If you are in one of those places of maybe feeling a little overwhelmed, like I am sensitive, and I know some people say that this might be a gift. I just don't know how to manage it, how to do life this way. So welcome home, and welcome to my channel. Let's dive deep into how to honor the fact of that beautiful journey you might be on, of finding home, how to not feel ashamed about it, how to just honor that you not only are someone sensitive that has the gift of sensing so many other layers that most people might not be able, and not to compare, because other people might be able to do other things. We just have that gift that makes us unique and makes us wonderful. But also, I feel like the fact that you are taking action, you are searching, right? That's something to honor. That's something to admire. Not everyone, even watching this video, not everyone wants to go deeper, to become a truer version of themselves. So yeah, just taking a little moment to give you a little reassurance and to honor where you are. It's really amazing. And the thing is, like, we don't only do these processes, these journeys for ourselves. I am in a place, as I said earlier, where I can see and I can say that the more I do this work of finding who I truly am, of course it feels amazing for myself. I feel a better, more authentic human. But we get to see the impact in others. We get to see how we inspire others, how we shine the light in the path of many others that have been craving, wanting to do something similar, to find something similar. So I celebrate you, and let's go. Let's dive deep into this wonderful subject. I would love to share a little more. Maybe you have watched in other of my videos a little bit about my story. Maybe you don't know anything about my story, but since I came to United States when I was 22, I think at the beginning it was just a fun thing to do, exploring the city, finding a better place. So it's just, I can say that at the beginning it was just the nature. I have to say also that before coming to United States, the nature of being an international student, of being new to a country, to a city, I didn't know anything about San Francisco. I remember my friends saying, Mel, San Francisco, the one from Jurassic Park with the red bridge and all these things. And I'm like, I don't know. I did not know anything. And this is many years ago, where I think Google Maps, the option of getting the little man, walking in the streets in Google Maps was new. So AI didn't exist, obviously, and the amount of technology we have these days did not exist. I remember communicating with my friends and family with Skype. So this is a while ago. So something that I can share previous to being a tourist in San Francisco, in my life, with my family, with my mom and my sister, I think I learned it also from my mom. It was familiar. It's what it's been familiar for me my whole life. My mom always wanted to move to a better house, to a better place. So every 2 years, every year even, we will move into a new house, into a new place. So packing things into boxes and, even redesigning. And I know for some people can be a very boring task and annoying task to pack and unpack. I think for me, I have some love and I am a pro at moving and being practical. And I have done crazy things in this. I honestly, I thought, like, before recording this video, I was like, maybe I should count the amount of places I have lived in United States, in San Francisco. I did not do that. It's so many. One memory that came to my mind was when I was new at a house during the pandemic. I was subleasing, so there was already the pressure of, ooh, I'm here only for a couple of months. I was subleasing and I was meeting the neighbors, and it was a family, and the mom wanted to get to know me a little bit. And I remember it was the first time that I was aware that a part of me was embarrassed and a part of me thought that it was really funny that I lived in so many places. She asked me, oh, where have you lived before in San Francisco? And I had a little moment, trying to make the list. It was so long. But anyways, so I want to say that even though it was really fun, also it was really fun, the process of finding a better place, a better neighborhood. I am someone, I feel like maybe I should use all this knowledge that I have to offer a service or something. I know and I understand so much the neighborhoods in San Francisco, the different layouts of houses, different dynamics if you have roommate, if you are renting for yourself, like, you know, the relationships with landlords, with the contracts, you know, the leases and all these things. Like, I have a lot of information. I'm getting distracted now with this story, I'm sorry. It's like funny. Even though it's been a fun thing to do, because as I said at the beginning, it was like, I'm so far away from my friends, I want to be closer to my friends, so I started moving, you know, just trying to be where all the fun things were, where it was more convenient. I can see that there was this layer of not feeling like I was part of the house, like I didn't feel like I fully belonged to the place or to the dynamic. And I want to be super honest and transparent with this. Maybe I can share a little bit about my astrology. I have a lot of Pisces, 4 placements in Pisces: Sun, Venus, Mercury, and North Node. And I have a lot of 12th house, including my Sun, including Pisces. I don't remember if Mercury too, but I think my North Node is in Pisces as well. If you're a little bit into astrology, you probably are understanding already where this sense of not feeling like you truly can belong to something comes from. But besides that, I have an Aries rising. So it's a very, Aries is a very, and I feel like this is something that I've been kind of sensing lately. I feel like people that has a lot of water in their chart, where there's any of these strong energies placements, like a fire placement, let's say, like mostly where there's some fire, or even like a Scorpio, it's almost like you can notice it more. So I have only one Aries placement in my chart, and it's big, such a big energy, such a big part of who I am. So I feel like it's a very enthusiastic, energetic energy, and is always ready for action, to do the fun things, to jump into things. So I have to say that it's only until recently, when I started getting a little deeper into my self-development journey, until I started, because once we are in the self-development journey, I think at the beginning of the self-development journey, we do the work, and we get to a place where we don't even have to do the work. Life by itself is just throwing things at us by itself. It's like, okay, time to work on this, time to review this, time to. So I think life is inviting me. It has been inviting me to review my relationship with the places I live, especially with this last transition. This last time that I moved from Miami, that it was kind of, in many ways, it felt like an earthquake. Like I wasn't searching for this. Again, I am choosing living life, following my intuition. I knew it was the right thing the whole time. And a lot of the times, just for you to know, if you're new also to start living life this way, a lot of the times our intuition is not gonna take us to the most beautiful places. A lot of the times it's taking us to that lesson, to that one lesson that is waiting for us. Anyways, so yes, life is inviting me in a beautiful way, and who knows if maybe sharing my lessons, what I have learned with you guys. It is the why behind all this experience. Because I have to say, I wish when I was 25, 26, I could have learned from someone something like this. I feel like a lot of people, and a lot of what you can find here, even in YouTube, social media, people want to give you facts, you know, from the books, from the research, from the studies, and that's great. I think there's a time and a space for that. But the soul lessons, the human lessons, I feel like a lot of people try to filter those, and it's very vulnerable. And yeah, I haven't found many people that can go that raw and authentically into these stories, showing us the real emotions, the real experience. So I wish I had that, and I think that's one of the motors, one of the reasons why I'm here. Sometimes I feel a little exposed. Sometimes I'm like, no, I know someone is gonna gonna receive the benefits from this. So I hope this is bringing some light in your journey. And as I always share in my videos, because I go into many places in my stories, if I'm missing something, if there's an area of the whole story that you would like me to go deeper, just share it, let me know. I'm happy to explore more, whatever resonates for you, with you. So again, there's been always that little mix of excitement of wanting to go into the next adventure, but I think I always had that deeper layer that was telling me the little discomfort. Like, okay, it's just like, I like this place, but I'm excited to go to another. And maybe the reason is because I never felt home there. And there were moments where it was painful. I was like, oh God, like I have to move. I just do not feel comfortable at this place. I do not feel comfortable with these relationships, with these roommates. And even some memories are coming to my mind right now. I remember a very bad toxic relationship. One partner telling me like, it's your fault. It's you. Because I think I was overwhelmed at some point. I was like, this is not working either. What else do I go? There are moments in the journey that feels like that, like, okay, where is my place? Where do I belong? And I want to say that especially if you are watching this video and you also resonate with the part, if you identify also as someone that is international, that you're coming from another country, you already left one place that was supposed to be the place you belong, and you're trying to create those new places where you are supposed to feel at home. So when we have those little moments, or this house doesn't feel good, these roommates don't feel good, and there are not many options, it's so hard. If you are there, my whole heart is with you. It is uncomfortable. There's a lot of discomfort, but believe me, I'm gonna get here a little spiritual. I'm gonna bring concepts from yoga. I'm gonna get also to a point in the video where I'm gonna share all the things that I have done that have supported my journey, because that's exactly what we need. It doesn't matter how many places we go to. It doesn't matter from how many dynamics we go through. What it does matter is how we support ourselves and how we create that home inside of ourselves. But we will get there. So yoga talks a lot, and maybe you're familiar with this already, how we can breathe into that discomfort. If you already have a yoga practice, and if you are in one of those moments, I think I have shared already that I am super spiritual. With all those placements in the 12th house of Pisces, I cannot escape from that fact. So I don't remember if it was a voice that I heard. I just knew in one of those big transitions. I think I was transitioning from a job and I was transitioning from a home, and I had the clear knowing I have to go every day to yoga. And it's something that it's just it warms my heart to remember that moment, because it did it for me. It gave me that home. It gave me that sense of home. So yoga was for me, I always invite, I am a big believer that we, especially, you know, as a Pisces that enjoys and not only spirituality but astrology so much, I understand we all have different natures. Yoga has been for me, I think yoga can be for a lot of people, but it can be running, it can be dancing, it can be cooking, finding that activity, that way of moving the energy inside of you that truly guides you and connect you with yourself, with your inner experience. I feel like there are so many factors why yoga does it. I think the fact that it's been around us for so many years, there's a lot of wisdom. It carries a lot of wisdom, and we feel it. We are able to connect in a single, you know, in a simple flow, in a simple class. But then the layer of being in a heated room, being with a group of people, the breathing, right, the breath work also, it's something that can help us a lot to come back to our bodies, to our inner experience. So yeah, I'm a fan, so of course I will, you know, recommend yoga, but explore your own way. And I think if you're going through one of those bigger transitions, work and breakups and moving, because that's something that maybe I can share. A lot of the times I was moving from places, I was going through a breakup or I was changing jobs. It was always very intense. So that's what I think. I'm also at a place where I feel so happy to be able to talk about how I can feel safe now and I can feel at home soon, quickly. I'm gonna try to go through all these things quickly. I will give you all the things that I'm doing at the moment and how I'm building one home that might last for a couple of months, and or maybe 6 months or a year, and I'm not attached to that idea. But anyways, if you are going through that transition, I really recommend you to find an anchor, because a lot of these transitions, breakups, sometimes moving from one place to another, depending on how sensitive you are, can activate your nervous system, can be disruptive for your nervous system. And a lot of the times, if we don't know, if we don't have a lot of practice, if we're, you know, still learning about our nervous system, it's very easy to go into our heads, and it is hard. Like I'm like I maybe I can record another video talking about all the many different experiences that I have gone through, but let's focus on the core ideas of this. It is very important to find an anchor practice, especially if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, if things are just like very disruptive right now for you. As I said, a movement, especially if you are that sensitive, that kind of sensitive person. I want to say that you are very emotional, so anything that helps you to move that energy, you know, any somatic work, breath work, movement, right? Even singing. I have been seeing that chanting, for example, in the yoga classes, but it can be just singing in the shower, or you're in your room, or you go outside and sing. All right, so that's something that can anchor you and help you during the transition. Now, where I want to get, it's how sure we can start finding an actual home, physical home that feels aligned to ourselves, but also how we can find the most important home, which is the home within us. So a few tips I want to encourage you I know astrology is not for everyone, but it can really give you ideas. It can give you ideas, human design in astrology, of what environments feel right for yourself. Because a lot of the times we are in those places where we're like, I don't know what feels good. If you have a good sense of who you are and what feels good, that's great. Otherwise, I would recommend you to go, especially to understand your moon, because that's your emotions, your emotional self. Understand what's the right environment for your emotions. And my moon is in Taurus, in the second house. Yeah. I'm like, if you understand astrology, probably you're laughing like with me. So yeah, can you imagine my for me, finding an actual home, a real house, it's important. Feeling like I really find the place that feels aligned for me. So for me also, I have gone through moments where it is very hard for me to let go of places I attached. Once I find something that I really like, it is hard for me to let go, as a good morning Taurus in the second house. And so understanding, for example, I want to talk maybe the three main energies: your sun, your rising, and your moon. Let's focus on this. If we are going to use astrology, if you would like to use astrology, I can offer you these ideas. So my sun is Pisces, rising is Aries, and moon is in Taurus. Understanding the nature of those three energies is going to give you ideas of what could be the ideal place for you. So for my moon in Taurus, a cozy home, beautiful aesthetics, with some access to nature. So nature for me, I think I am fine living where I am. For example, that is the middle of San Francisco. I am very close to, well, I am in a very busy area of the city. There's a lot of buildings, but having big windows where I have a lot of natural light, where there are a few trees on the streets, where I can have plants, where I can, for me, it's huge having either sunrise or sunrise views. That's what represents nature. So this is something that I would like to offer you. I feel like this is what is been in my mind these days, because it's so different for everyone. When we think about nature, what does nature represent for you? Like they describe as Taurus, as an energy that loves food and comfort and define things in life and in nature. But what nature represents for me, probably is going to be different than what it represents for you. So journal, sit down for a little bit with these ideas and get to the core of what those things that they say, the way they describe these energies, what do they represent for you, if that makes sense. So now with my racing in Aries, I am an action person. I need to be able to do things. So I need a good balance with the sun in Pisces in the 12th house. I need to retreat from everything and life and noise and busyness. But I also need to be able to go on a run, to go to yoga classes, to see people, to be active, be around creativity. That's huge for me. Be around, for example, I'm realizing the older I am, the more I am like, yes, that's what it is. Like being around streets where every single city has those streets where there are coffee shops, grocery stores, where are just people walking around. Like I don't want to live right on that street, but I want to be close to one of those streets. I want to be close to a park, love parks, and I have had the opportunity. It's crazy because almost every single place I have lived in San Francisco is being 2 blocks, so a block away from a park. So getting to the core, to the root of what are the main energies of those places that will support you, it is very important. But I want to invite you also to do not a touch of how that exactly has to look like, you know, just have a sense of that and be flexible, be a little flexible. I want to say that in life in general, I like to think of what is negotiable and what is not negotiable for me. Find a few things that are not negotiable, right? One other place that you can look at that I feel very accurate as well is human design. Human design actually has one of the parts of the chart that says what's the environment for you. So you can find a lot of good information there too. Okay, so that's how I would start feeling into what's the right physical environment for myself that is going to support my nature, my emotional being. And now let's go to the fun part, because a lot of the times maybe you have experienced this already, that you actually move into one of those places and you are like maybe not having a great dynamic if you're sharing with roommates, or it's crazy sometimes because even if, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, even if we're not sharing with roommates, no matter if life is trying to give us a lesson, no matter if we don't have roommates, there's the landlord, there's the neighbor, there's, you know, the whatever happens outside of the building. Like, life would do everything to put us again in the situation that is going to, you know, make us learn the lesson. So let's come back. Now we need to sit with what home represents for ourselves, because it's just so easy to just focus on the actual place. Very bright windows, very beautiful wooden floors, but then when we ask ourselves what home represents for me, we're like, oh, I don't know, right? So I would love you to see with that idea again. As I said earlier, it might represent something a little different for you than what it might represent for me, especially because if we are in this space of self-development, spirituality, the deeper we get into this space, the more we realize that what things represent to us now, after doing a little work, it's so connected to what we experienced in childhood. So depending on the fun trauma and the fun things we have gone through, you know, and where we are in the journey of healing and working on that fun stuff. So I'm happy to share a little bit of what home represents for me, especially that's why we are here, that's why I am here, coming from Miami, where I was like, this is, I think I shared this already, forgive me if I didn't, but if I did or I didn't, if I'm repeating or not. I lived for 30 years in San Francisco, and then I moved to Florida for 8 months, and I had this calling of coming back to California, but I didn't want to leave. It was just kind of like, I don't know what to do, life wants me to do this thing, and I am here, right? And kind of reflecting about my time there and the beautiful things that I experienced there, and I was, what is it, you know, what's this beautiful sense of home that I got there? So as you can imagine, as a good Pisces with all the 12 house placements that I have, my routine every day was waking up every single day. Like, even if it rains in Miami, it's always warm. So I would still leave the house to go to the beach, warm beach, to walk barefoot, do a little flow, yoga flow, watching the sunrise. Like, come on, every single day. And I will swim before 10 a.m. I was at my desk, starting my day to work. So I felt at home every single day, like being in the water, being in the warmth. So I came back to San Francisco where the weather is opposite, where there's not swimming in the mornings, watching the sunrise. You get beautiful sunsets in San Francisco, but not sunrises in the warm water. So I had to sit with these feelings. I had to really sit with this feeling. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna have that. I know I cannot be right now in Miami. I know I want to do other things, and that's not in Miami. How can I recreate that? So home for me represents warmth. I got to that realization after digging, soul searching, exploring deep. I did not have that warmth growing up in my history with my family. There was a lot of fire, but not the fire that gives warmth, the fire that burns. So again, like, that's one definition. How can I recreate warmth in my home that's also going to look different for everyone? I realized that for me it's the quality in the relationships, and that I do want company, that I do not right now want to live for myself, that I want to have that source of energy, and that I want to have that, how can I describe this? I want that interaction. Obviously, I in my heart I knew it has to be the aligned energy. It has to be the right environment. So that being said, I have to say that even if you have that clarity, it's not like you can buy that. You build that, right? You create that. And it's a day-to-day, it's an everyday task, work. It's an amazing work. Building that relationship, creating that warmth with others, creating that comfort in your environment. It's been a beautiful experience and realization, and I hope this is touching a place in your heart, especially if you are in this soul searching journey, trying to find some inspiration and some ideas or where and how to build that inner home. So that was one core thing for me. Obviously, as I said, I have this Aries energy that needs also to express the energy and all these things. So okay, there's one major thing that I do not want to forget. It's almost like it is either or in between the actual home or the inner home, or it's something that connects both. I let you choose where you want to put it, but when we are in that process of searching that home, I want you to remind and maybe take note of this, that we are searching a home for your inner child. That's the part of you that needs the home. So we are using astrology and all these things just to find what feels right for her, for him, for them. Hey, so based on that idea, I started selecting, and I think I wanted to share also about how I'm designing a temporary experience, home experience, and I think that's something that I really want to share also in this video. I'm not attached to this home because I created that safety within myself, that I can create this anywhere I go. Now that I have clarity in what 100% for myself, and the work I have done to create that warmth in relationships. You know, maybe here you're starting to have some ideas. Maybe you are at a similar place to where I am, or maybe you're realizing like, okay, that piece of creating warmth in my relationships maybe is what I would like to start focusing. No matter where you are, you will find that home. You know, even if you right now find yourself in a place where you are noticing like, okay, maybe I have to do a little more work, doesn't matter. It's so rewarding when you get to where I am that it's, you know, it's gonna be so freaking worth it, the work that you might have to do at the moment, if you feel like, okay, maybe there's a little more that you're aware that you can put into creating that environment. Let's go back. So we were talking about creating a home for your inner child, right? I'm getting a little tired already. It's been a long video. So we were using astrology to identify what are those things that makes our nature thrive, right? As in Aries rising, as a sun in Pisces, moon in Taurus, like I already described, what are the things that for my nature are the ones that are going to make me feel good. So well, I'm going back and forth in many ideas. Safety, we will come back to the idea of safety. Now I wanted to add the piece of inner child, of understanding that all this process is to find the home for our inner child. Because probably if you are in this space of self-development, if you have been watching my videos, we are working on all the traumatic experiences we had. Probably you went through a lot of stuff in your childhood, right? So the sense of not belonging, not feeling like we are safe at home, probably comes from these stories in the past. So depending on where you are, like I am in a place where I need freedom. I am focusing on creating more freedom in my life. That's some of the things that I have in my vision right now in my life, just to share a little bit. So I want to design everything in my life right now that in a way that provides, that supports that ability to feel free. So in order for me to feel free and to give myself what my nature needs, so I decided that I wanted the light, because the light for me is that connection with nature. It allows me to be creative. I am recording my videos here, so I knew I needed a little space for my creative activities. I bought a table. It's a very simple table. I'm happy, if you are curious, I'm happy to share, because as I said, I became very good at creating temporary or lasting places, homes. So I'm very good at finding, you know, cool, affordable stuff that I know I can sell, you know, if I move out of this place. So I knew I needed a desk, but instead of a desk, I was like, I want to create projects. So I bought this table. I selected a few things, the non-negotiables, you know. I need light. I need a place to create. So light and a table. I need a place to be active, to yoga, to dance, you know, to move. I need a place, a cozy place to rest. And I love cooking, so I need a home with a nice kitchen where I know I can cook whatever I want. So this is how I filter and I designed the home for my inner child. Also, my inner child has been screaming. I've been wanting a projector to watch movies. So I made sure I got a few simple things, especially because I am in this transition of not, you know, creating roots, if you can say that, in one place. I got a few things that I knew they would make happy my inner child. So I come home and it feels like, yeah, it's a home that my inner child enjoys. The other part I'm also still working on. I'm connecting a lot with essentials, no, what's the name of the essences, with smells. So I got inspired that I wanted to get copal, and I want, with all these 12 house placements, I want my room, my private space to feel like a sanctuary, you know, like where a place where I not only do my yoga, but I meditate and all these things. So you don't have to go too crazy to create spaces like this, you know. Think about things that connect you with your senses and the senses that make feel good, your inner child. So for me, that I'm very spiritual, so all the things that bring me to that energy, you know. If maybe you are a little more into fashion, a few pieces that, you know, represent that energy for yourself. Welcome to San Francisco. I hope this is clear. If you want more ideas about this, you can probably tell how passionate I am about this. So happy to share more ideas. Going back to the energy of safety, to the idea of safety. This is probably a bigger concept, and I'm now getting inspired to create a whole video talking about specifically what safety means, how we work on building that energy. But just to give you some ideas for this video, safety is also going to represent different things for us. And safety, we can say that every single human is searching for that safety from different places. That's the root of why we see behaviors like control, manipulation, people pleasing. That's the core of many of the behaviors that we humans do. But just to break it down a little easy, for this idea of finding home within, it is very important that we get clear on what that safety, again, astrology can give you an idea. Placements that have helped me to identify what safety means for me, what safety represents for me, have been Chiron, Lilith, my moon, midheaven. If you're curious about this, also I'm thinking that I might give you like my ChatGPT prompt. Just comment, let me know, and I've been just getting so much information from as many others these days from ChatGPT. It's super easy, it's very accurate to understand all these aspects. So yeah, for some people, as I shared, I have my moon in Taurus in the second house. Material things, aesthetics, security, it is big for me. It is huge for me. So I have the tendency to search it. I want to say maybe more than other people. And when we have those placements, I feel like it's very often we neglect our own needs. We leave our bodies just to grab from something that we think is gonna give us that safety. It's a different journey for everyone, but learning about what safety means for you, I can share a little bit that, for example, things that trigger my safety has to do a lot with a validation from my parents. It's a sneaky one because it's in, you know, once we are grown-ups, adults, we don't believe how much that might affect our whole well-being. I can say that it is powerful, and it is almost like insane to think how some small parts of ourselves are still searching for that approval and validation from our parents. And because that part of ourselves haven't received it, we don't only search for that validation, we are in our lives with everyone else, in romantic relationships, in relationships with anyone that represents something similar, are also our parents, authority figures, bosses, landlords, even like dominant friends and things like that. We have all these kind of behaviors, you know, to get that validation. And what's happening there is that, of course, our sense of security is triggered. We don't find it. So that also can, for people that are in this space trying to find the inner home, can be a layer to look at, you know, can be a place to start realizing that, oh my God, I've been searching for security, for a home outside of me. So shifting behaviors like people pleasing, searching for approval and validation from others can help a lot to come back to yourself, because at the end that's what homes represents for me. But I think even if you might have a little different representation, I think we all understand that inside of us, being at peace, being in an energy of love and acceptance and belonging inside of us, that's what home really means, right? So I think I just touched in a few little places, again, because I'm trying to be as inclusive as possible. Everyone might be at different places in this journey. If you are in a deeper journey, you know, where you're realizing that your behaviors are triggering your process of finding home within, which is similar to what I have gone through, also leave comments. We can work more on this. I can elaborate more in this idea. I just wanted to give you some ideas where you can start looking at. But yeah, people pleasers, our sense of security might be super triggered, and that might trigger a lot how we feel at home, our sense of belonging. All right, beautiful people, this was a sensitive but I think a very sweet video. I hope you got some inspiration. I hope the video, the things that I shared, is bringing some light in your own journey, your own process. I'm so excited to hear from you. Any ideas, any questions, anything that you would like to share, please feel free to do it. For now, until my next video, so much peace and love.